Kajian lang jengka kenun ki MLA ke Kongres ya kebelatip kung ke Kongres Legislature Party CLP ki dawa baik bandan nak jing toket balai luoi ha ka bai dei ba jing sya siat yap ujulan sekretari berim keseng channel si uba cheers to feel thank you ha ka kalai terik ubanai nai lar ha bai keren bat kilar thai kubor u nong ilam kaliang persya u Dr. Mukul Sangma u luang banyo ya jing toket ke bakhui ke basuba ki dawa baik bandan nak jing toket ke bai luoi bat ki lai ngut ki he pulit bakan thop nadu DGP bat arngut ki SP kim dei bandan hapo kakam u Dr. Mukul u luang kat ba ki he officer ba jongkatan pulit kidang song hapo ka office traikam pimut kumnu baki pulit kiba hapo jongki kin kili jingkili but hatu kini kia pulit kin kren ne plai ka jingsisha.
Demand has always revolved around an inquiry which we refer to as independent. I repeat, independent. Okay. Now, in the present circumstance, under the the narrative which has been generated over the last few days, please understand one thing. The very different circumstances involving this particular incident. You are talking about an allegation of fact encounter. Okay, fact encounter by the police. Therefore, the inquiry, if it has to be independent, it has to be really independent. How will you make it independent? How will you ensure that it is independent? Now, if the allegations revolve around the top officials, will you expect the inquiry to be independent? If the top officers against whom the allegations are directed are still in the office, that is how one has to look at. That is how the government has to look at if the inquiry has to be independent. Okay, I am talking inconsistent with the provisions of law and on the expected line as to how the authorities will have to act to ensure if the inquiry has to be independent, completely insulated from any external pressure. Because you will have number of police personnel of lower rank who will have to be questioned. Now, will they be really free to speak and share the truth? All those things are required to be understood. Therefore, I would confine my submission before all of you, but I think this sends enough message. The further legal action should be taken once the inquiry is completed. But even before having that inquiry report, to ensure that the whole process of inquiry is completely independent, or in other words, is not subjected to any external influence. How do you ensure that? Because the inquiry pertaining to this instant case revolves around the police personnel. Now, police personnel of different ranks, all those police personnel are expected to be questioned if one has to unearth the truth. And therefore, it is only the common sense which tell us that will the junior or the subordinates in the police organization will dare to give any statement which will be inconsistent with the fact or inconsistent with the truth. Therefore, the case is very different here. One has to understand from that angle. And therefore, if one is honest to ensure an independent inquiry, then one must know how it should be done.